Hi, I'm Mike Looney, the Superintendent of Schools and the host of Let's Talk Schools. Thank you for joining us today. Today we have a very special guest with us today, and it is Executive Director Vickie Cross, who is in charge of the safe transport of 90,000+ students.
True.
Ms. Cross, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I started my career in transportation in 1991, and I drove a school bus for 6 years. And then I've gone through the ranks, and about 4 years ago, I became Executive Director of Fulton County Transportation.
So were you a school bus driver here in Fulton?
No, I was a school bus driver in Gwinnett County.
Well, we're so glad that you found the way over to Fulton. So
Me
thank you for being a
Me
team
too.
member.
Thank you.
So I know that school bus drivers are absolutely critical to the success of our school district. Mm-hmm. As I often say, they're the first smiling face that our students see and the last smiling face that students see before going home for the day. And so that work is so important. Talk about how awesome or not that your bus drivers are.
My bus drivers are the best in the state of Georgia. They are well trained, they are kind, they are caring, they are concerned when they can't pick up their students on time. They're just amazing. I call them salt of the earth people. Those are the kind that'll give you the shirt off their back and just keep smiling.
You know, being a bus driver is a pretty challenging job, I suspect. True. You have 40, 50, maybe 60 kids behind you riding on a big school bus at the same time. You're having to handle this big machine and keep it in between the lines and keep everybody safe. So what training do bus drivers go through in order to become a certified bus driver here in Fulton?
Well, what they do, if you're brand new, then you come in, you have to have your Cdl Permit first.
And Cdl is what?
Commercial's driver's license.
Okay.
And we help them get that. We have a boot camp that they go to, and we help them get that. And then once they have their permit, they come to us to prepare to actually get their license. Now, all of that, we pay for them to get their Cdl license 100%. Once they have their permit, they are paid, so it's paid training, and we get them ready to get their Cdl license, Class B. And then once they do that, they have to have 6 hours drive time with students, 6 hours without. There are driving skills they have to pass. They have to pass under DDS approval, the pre-trip. They have to go to CPR, first aid, defensive driving. And there's special needs training that has to be done. It is extensive, but we make it fun.
So I can come and apply for a bus driving position in Fulton without a commercial driver's license.
Yes.
Without any experience driving buses or big vehicles.
Right.
And say, I want to join the team, and you will provide all the training for free.
Absolutely. Plus you get paid.
And get paid while you're being trained.
Get paid while you're trained.
That's absolutely incredible. And what does a bus driver earn in an hour's time? Starting
pay is $20.40 an hour. And say you did come to us with a CDL. Depending on your approved work experience, you could make quite a bit more than that.
So starting pay, just without any experience, is $20.49 an hour.
Yes, sir.
And I'm assuming that's before any pay raise that the board is going to approve for the next school year.
Absolutely.
Wow. And how many bus routes do we operate here in Fulton?
We've got 748 routes, and we have currently, what we would like to have is 814 drivers, because you want to cover your routes, obviously, but you also have breakdown drivers that are there if somebody's absent or the bus actually breaks down. And so that's the number we would love to have. We're at 85% of that now. And we are constantly training, hiring. We are here to give, yes.
There's opportunity to join
Yes.
the team.
We say opportunity is honking.
Opportunity is honking. That's incredible. Well, it sounds fun. Let me ask you a couple more questions about potential new drivers, because I know that there's a national shortage of bus drivers. In fact, national shortage of commercial drivers of all sorts.
Yes.
And so it's a challenge to find people. But as I understand it, a bus driver comes in and drives in the morning, and then what do they? Then they come back and drive in the afternoon.
They do.
Does that equal 40 hours a week?
It can.
Okay.
Normally, our goal is 30 hours.
Okay.
But there is lots of opportunity for additional work in between routes or after routes to do field trips in the evening, sporting events, those kind of things. So the opportunity is there. And a lot of people, when they come to transportation, I know when I didn't see it as a career. I saw it, I was a single mom of 4 sons, and I saw it as an opportunity for insurance. But what it became was a career. And Fulton County has a wonderful career path. And currently all my staff, that over 90% of them were school bus drivers. So you can start as a dispatcher, become a trainer, assistant supervisor. You could end up an executive director.
So you mentioned insurance. I'm assuming you're talking about health insurance.
Yes.
So if I'm a bus driver and I'm driving in the morning, let's just say 7 to 9,
Right.
and then I'm off, and then I one the afternoon and I'm driving from 2 to 4, whatever it might be. That's about 30 hours a week on average.
Yes.
Does that qualify me for insurance?
It does. It absolutely does.
Oh my goodness.
And Fulton County has a amazing insurance package, and there's also a Fulton County private pension, retirement pension, and it's equal to the teacher retirement. So it's an excellent place to come and
So
work.
even if I'm not working 40 hours a week and I'm a bus driver, I'm still getting retirement credit, and I'm
Yes.
still getting qualifying for insurance.
Yes, paid sick leave.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a wonderful opportunity.
So I know when I first arrived in Fulton, a little bit more than 3 years ago now, one of the first events I went to officially was a bus driver celebration.
Yes.
And we were celebrating the safety records of bus drivers. And I know from time to time there's an incident here where a bus driver hits a mailbox or something like that. But what is the safety record of our bus drivers here in Fulton? Can you speak to that generally?
I can. We drive over 8.5 million miles per year. And the industry standard for like a MARTA or a Cobb Transit or other Metro County districts that are our size and have the miles that we have, it's about not quite 6% per 1,000 miles. And the industry standard is 11%. So when we have bus drivers that have an accident, they come in for retraining. There are written tests that they take. They go back out with a trainer. We take accidents very seriously. And so we make sure that anything that caused that accident, we try to reenact. One of the things that you suggested, which we are working on, is to actually get bus simulators. And this bus simulator is just going to be amazing. It gives you almost a 360 view. You can set the program to reenact the accident while you're actually sitting in the cab of what looks like your bus. And there's a trainer behind you walking you through it and showing you different things. Did you see this? Did you miss this? So I'm excited for the simulator.
I think we're going to have a lot of students that are expressing interest in becoming a bus driver. When you
I
sit
hope
down,
so.
They can drive in a simulator, and
True.
I'm assuming the simulator is going to allow us to put up certain scenarios.
It will.
A ball runs across the road. What do you do?
It does.
There's inclement weather. There's high wind or slick conditions, and you get to navigate and learn how to operate in those different conditions.
It's going to be a wonderful addition to our training. And, you know, we've talked about it at our MRESA. These are meetings for the Metro executive directors or directors. And I can tell you they're very jealous that we're thinking about
maybe we can charge them a fee for letting some of their drivers
Hey,
come over.
There's things.
Yeah.
There's things.
Yeah. So I want to make sure I understood, because I don't want to misquote you. You said the national average for bus accidents or per 1,000 miles?
Per million.
Per million is 11%?
That's the national average.
And for Fulton, it's 6?
It's 5.89%.
So what's the magic sauce here? How are we twice as safe as other folks are, or have half as many incidents and accidents?
Right. We constantly provide safety tips over the radio, and every bus driver has a radio on their bus, and we constantly are reminding. But I think what helps is that all of our bus drivers are defensive driving certified. They have to take the Green Cross defensive driving courses. And then during pre-planning week, there are 9 driving skills that they have to take and pass. They're scored on them. And so we start them with, here's your driving, remember how this works, remember your right turns, your left turns, backing, all of those kind of things. And we have mirror grids throughout our properties that they can go through, because if your mirrors are not adjusted properly, you won't be able to see. Every vehicle has blind spots, but we have 9 mirrors that bus drivers have to pay attention to.
9 mirrors on a bus?
Mirrors on a bus.
I had no idea.
Yes, sir.
I had no idea.
Sir.
Wow, that's interesting. So let's face it, though. We're operating in a large suburban, urban environment, and in some cases rural. We have it all.
We do.
But the point is, accidents are going to happen. So what could you say to our viewers to pay attention to when they see the big yellow limousine with 70 precious, the most dearest cargo that we could possibly have? What is it that you would like to say to people that are driving down the road and there's one of those yellow school buses next to them, in front of them, behind them? Is there any advice that you would give them?
I would just ask them to please be patient. Please be observant. When our elementary children are getting off the bus, the older children are more trained to what they need to do. They know, step off of a bus and do what you need to. But our little ones, this is the first time that many of them may have been without a seatbelt. We do have seatbelts on 52% of our school buses, and we're working towards 100%. But we ask them just to please be patient. Please pay attention. Drive slow. If you see lights blinking, that tells you it's like a yellow light. Stop. Okay. You have got to slow down, and if you're across the road, just know the laws. Know when you need to stop and watch for children.
I think people are often confused, particularly if it's a divided highway.
Yeah.
So if I'm going north in a school bus and I put my brakes on and my flashers and my stop sign out, what do the people in the opposing lane with a divided highway have to do? Do they have to stop, or are they able to keep going?
They should stop if there is nothing dividing them. If there's no median or grass or concrete, then you need to stop. But if there is something dividing you, then the law states you can continue on. Okay.
And what happens if a bus's flashers are going off, but there's not a stop arm out?
That you can't, again with the flashers, you just need to stop because that stop sign is coming out just within seconds. And we do have stop arm cameras on some of our buses. Not all, but on some in heavy traffic areas. So you don't want to get that ticket in your mail.
So we have 700 some odd routes, you said. That is a whole bunch of fuel.
Yes.
So I don't even want to speculate how much money that's costing the taxpayers here in Fulton with all the buses. but I know there's something unique about Fulton. In fact, this is the first district that I've ever been associated with that has propane buses.
Yes. Yes.
So talk to us about the propane bus fleet and how it's better and what it does differently.
Well, the thing about, we started in 2017 and we applied for grants. We've applied with Georgia Department of Education, the Georgia Department of Natural Resources, and the Environmental Protection Agency. So we started applying because what they wanted was old diesels off the road.
Okay.
And we applied and we looked into all different options, compressed natural gas, propane, should it be gasoline, all the different things that we could do. And we decided to go with propane. We decided small, just to see what it was like. And then we've been able to save so much money. A normal diesel bus takes about 14 to 16 quarts of oil. A propane bus takes 3 to 4. Wow. So there's savings in parts, there's savings in the cost of the fuel. There's federal loans that you can get, not loans, but grants that you can get for the fuel to help offset that. So it's just...
So propane is just a better way to go.
I think it is. We have been very happy with the program. We have one electric bus, and then the rest are propane. Like I said, 52% of our fleet is now green.
Well, I have to have you come back on the show and talk more about it. We've run out of time, unfortunately, but you have so much information to share.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for being here. And folks, thank you so much for joining Let's Talk Schools. I look forward to seeing you again soon.